Welcome to Well Read, a program about a little bit of this and a little bit of that at your Ames Public Library. I'm Jerry Hyde, Youth Services Manager at the Ames Public Library, and here we are. Spring is in the air and we're ready for Earth Day and to celebrate all those wonderful things that happen in the spring. And one of those happens to be some of the fabulous programs that we have at the library. And this particular program with my guests today, Marlene and Mark, we're going to talk about a program at the end of April celebrating animals and all species in one earth. And so welcome and thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Jerry, for having us.
We have this very interesting program. The library's not been involved in a program like this at all, ever in my history of doing programs here at the Ames Public Library. And I find that it's going to be a very fascinating program. But before we get to that actual program, let's talk a little bit about the two of you and then how the library got involved. So Marlene, would you like to share a little bit about your life and where you work and what your organization is?
Sure. Marlene Erzman, I'm a lifelong Ames resident and I'm executive director and co-founder of the Iowa Wildlife Center. And we're a organization that provides wildlife rehabilitation services, conservation education programming, and wildlife assistance skills training for Central Iowa and beyond. And our office right now is here in Ames, and we're building our facility on 75 acres in Boone County. So
and that's very exciting.
It's really exciting.
I can remember you coming to my Ames Morning Rotary Group and speaking about that a couple years ago, just at the birthing of the purchase, I believe, and that type. So basically taking care of animals in our community, whether or not they are wounded wild animals.
Right, yes, wild animals, and we're coming up on migration season, so we're getting migrants that are getting injured. We're coming upon baby season, so we'll get a lot of orphans coming in the door, and so we like to prevent those animals from coming in the door, but then when they do come in, we take care of them and then release them back to the wild.
Good care of them. All right. And so, Mark, what do you have to with all this?
I came to Ames back in 1983 to work for USDA. At that time, I was very interested in birding and became involved with the Big Blue Stem Audubon Society, which is the National Audubon chapter here in town. And through that organization, I met Marlene and found out about the things that she's been working on, and we became friends. And as the Wildlife Center got going, I supported that organization and have been volunteering with them. A few years ago, I retired from USDA, and so I have a little bit more time on my hands. And a few years ago, Marlene and I started dreaming about an event that she knew about from other parts of the country, and things came together so that we're actually going to make that event happen here.
So tell us a little bit about the events that you've seen.
I have not personally seen an event like we're putting on.
Okay.
And I will say, I think this is the first in the state, so that's exciting for one thing. But my son directs the North Coast Environmental Center out in Northern California, and they've been putting on these all-species parades for many years, and he's told me about them, and I've watched YouTube videos and seen photographs, and they just look magical, and the spirit of the community just shifts at that moment when you're honoring not only the human part of the world, but also the other species that we share the earth with. And so that's when I started thinking about bringing this kind of an event to Ames.
So when you're talking about a parade, what I think of are, the little floats that go by and all the Kleenexes that people pulled through and the wire messes, but that isn't the type of parade that we're talking about, is it?
Not exactly. Not exactly. We're not allowing motorized vehicles, for one thing, and if people wanted to have a kinetic float or a shopping cart float or a baby stroller float or something like that,
that would be fine. Yeah.
That would be fine. We're trying to honor other species, and so it can be, these are lovely masks, and we'll talk about the artist in a little bit, but you can create masks to wear, you can create full costumes of other species to wear, and the species can be not only mammals, but insects and birds and reptiles and I don't
Plants
know.
and fungi.
Exactly. Yeah. it
Lots
could
of
be
different things.
Anything that you want.
Anything that you
Yeah.
can. So let's go ahead and talk about Molly's masks here. And these are three-dimensional masks
They're
that
full
like
head masks.
full head masks that like the giraffe fits over
That's right.
your head, and it's made out of cardboard,
And
and it
paper.
looks like toilet paper rolls for the little head. And but then these are quite a bit more intense in the types of materials that they have, and very woolly and fabulous. That again, a full head mask. And so that's kind of what we're talking about is our walking
It's
parade
a walking parade,
Yes.
right?
with these masks or wings
Yeah.
and
so it's very safe for all ages. I even sent a crocheted pattern of a turtle costume for an infant to one of my friends who just had a baby.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, people can carry their children, or, it's very age friendly from babies to the elders.
Well, and one of the things that I thought about when you talked about insects, and we obviously have lots of families that come in. So a family could be like a caterpillar.
That's right.
Yes.
Each section of a caterpillar kind of weaving down through our parade route.
That's right. And our artist Molly Nagel, then who created these, is she's gathering lots of ideas, and we're going to share them on our Facebook page that we're going to get up and running hopefully this week.
Yeah, and we'll be publicizing that on our page 1. We'll get that in our page 1 for April's newsletter as well, and in the publicity that we're going to have. And so masks and costumes are being made now currently with different workshops that Molly has been doing. And so I know there are wonderful butterflies floating around and flying around from our program that we had, but there are several other programs in the Story County that she's sponsoring. And so it's not just the Ames Public Library and the Wildlife Center, but there are other organizations involved. So let's talk about those too, so we don't miss them.
That's really important, because Mark and I both believe in collaboration, and so that's when, and plus we knew that we couldn't do this alone. You can always do a much better job when you're collaborating as a team, and so that's when we approached you with the Ames Public Library and the Ames Park and Recreation. And Story County Conservation Board. So you all are our major partners in this.
And then, of course, our resident artist,
Our
Molly.
resident artist, Molly Nagel,
The Upper Story Studio in Story
in
City.
Story City.
And so basically, it's not just for necessarily Ames residents, it's for all ages and all
Yes.
communities in Story County
Yes,
or across
but we're
Iowa.
gathering
Right.
right here,
But we're-
right on the street across from the library to start the parade.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a downtown Ames event, but everybody be welcome.
And we also, not only do we need participants to be all species of various kinds, but we also need an audience too. So if you don't get something created but want to see what's happening, we want you to be on the sidewalks and tell us about the parade walk.
Okay.
Or where the parade will be walking.
Can I mention briefly the workshops before I forget?
Oh, sure.
Because you just had yours, and you said a lot of butterflies flitted out of
Yes.
the doors. And Ames Park and Recreation will have a big bug puppets workshop on April 11th, I think from 1 to 3. And then Ryman Gardens will have a natural materials mask making workshop on April 12th from 9:30 to noon. And Molly Nagel, our resident artist, is going to be
Leading both of
leading
those
both of
workshops.
those workshops, right? Yeah.
So so you can go and contact those organizations
Yes.
to sign up
Yes.
Yes.
for those classes
Correct.
and attend those classes.
right.
But you can also do it independently.
Yes, and
Oh,
they
of
don't
course,
have
yeah.
they don't have to be fancy. I have a mask that is just a regular mask that I glued feathers on, and then a beak.
Yeah.
So
And just being able to walk in the parade is a cool.
you can come as a
yes.
human.
Yeah, you can come as a human, and we have some streets closed off.
That's right.
So we're,
Yes.
like Mark mentioned,
That's
we're
right,
meeting
yeah.
out here in front of the library.
That's right. The gathering spot is going to be in front of the library. The Elks Hall has been rented out for the afternoon of the 25th of April, and that will allow people to change in there and store their things if they need to stash some stuff away. The Elks Hall is right across the street, so then the gathering will be out on Douglas in front of the library, and the parade then starts at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
And it will proceed down Douglas to the corner by the Octagon, hang a right, go down 5th for 2 blocks, past the post office area, the Ames Tribune, down to Burnett, hang another left, go to 6th, and then return up 6th, and then proceed into the library.
To the library. So,
Yeah.
and that's all on April 25th.
That's right.
And you can start gathering over at Elks at 1 o'clock.
Correct.
Yes.
But the parade itself doesn't start until 2.
That's right.
Yes.
And then you'll be able to, if you're a participant in the parade, change back into your regular clothes
Right.
after.
At the Elks Hall, right.
At the Elks afterwards. But then right after the parade, we have another really interesting event that will be happening in the auditorium here at the library too. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we just thought it would be, since we're all education-oriented organizations, we just thought it would be really nice to have educational exhibits on hand that have anything to do with respectful treatment of animals or the earth or planting. It could be a gardening club. It could be a myriad of things that just associate ourselves with getting out and enjoying and learning about the earth and
That's really the point of this whole day.
Yeah.
It's a celebration of the earth and all the creatures that we share it with. Earth Day's been around for a long time, and it just seemed like Ames needed, something new and exciting to get people motivated about it. And so all 3 of the events that we have planned that day all really fit together with that common mission.
Yeah, they do. And I think this kind of table to table, station to station type of learning opportunity of the different opportunities or education, organizations or that are focused on Earth Day type of activities or animal friendly type of activities or organizations is a very wonderful way to showcase those too, and to get that knowledge out. That we may live in our community, but we don't always know what is in our community.
Right.
And what opportunities are there to celebrate our animals or celebrate what we can do and be a part of.
Yeah, so some examples I think of that are kind of interesting. The Blank Park Zoo will be here, and Animal Rescue League will be here, Animal Rescue League of Iowa. And
then, of course, your organization.
Iowa Wildlife Center will be present, have a booth explaining what we do. And there will be an organic lawn care company, I believe, that's going to have an exhibit. So just a lot of different ways for people to learn about how they can.
And what better place to
Be
have
better
it than a
community
library
members,
where
yeah.
we're full of information?
Yeah,
And
it's
you've
just
got
a
beautiful
perfect
new
match.
facilities
Yes,
too.
we have
I think it's
a gorgeous new
wonderful
facility.
that you're willing to share.
Of course we do, because it's not mine to share, it's our communities to share. So, and I'm just very happy to be able to offer it for all of us to do. But that doesn't stop our activities. There's one more fabulous event, and it will be our first after hours event that we have at the Ames Public Library for the public. And that happens to be an artist, but also an author, a children's author, Doug Wood, that has one of my favorite books, Old Turtle, that we have. And he has another book, Old Turtle and the Broken Truth, as well. But Douglas Wood, I thought he was just an author, but you tell me that he's also a singer and musician and has a band.
Yeah, he does. He is an award-winning author, and he is phenomenal. And he writes not only children's book, but he has authored some books for adults as well. So I love reading what he's written. But he's a wonderful musician, and that's really when I first met him, was when he was performing for the National Wildlife Rehabilitators Association Symposium 25 years ago. And he has formed a small band called the Wild Spirit Band, and one of the band members has actually come in second in the bluegrass contest up
Oh,
in the state
wow.
of Minnesota. So they're not shabby musicians.
No, they're
very
not.
good musicians. And they'll sing a variety of songs and put on a great concert. Some of it will be conservation-based songs about animals, and they love audience engagement and sing along, and Andy loves children's presence and engagement in the concert as well. So it'll be a fantastic concert, I think, in a way to end the event.
I think it will. And I read you can find out more about him at www.douglaswood.com. But he's got a very interesting past as well. He talks about, he does a program about a teacher that he had that he believes reading obviously is very important, but he had a little bit of issues reading before we identified
Learning difficulties.
learning or reading disabilities. So he has a program about that he does sometimes in the schools, and he does a lot of school work. And but his struggle with reading is, it sounds like a very much reason why he's where he's at today.
Yes, and now
So-
he teaches people to write. He gives writing workshops, and so, you know,
Just a very multi-talented
Yeah, he
person,
is.
and I am very anxious to get to meet him and stuff. And like I said, Old Turtle has been a favorite book of mine for quite a while.
Doug
It
is
came
well
out.
known. Mark has been to at least one of his concerts, and
More than one, but going way back, and I always just knew him as a musician. I didn't realize that he was an author.
Then he was out.
Yeah.
See, there
So
we go. We're
have both
bookends
sides
here, you
that's
know.
right, yeah.
I know him as an author. You know
Yeah.
him as a musician. We'll blend those two together, and we have Marlene in the middle.
yes, and
There
I've
we
been
go.
on wilderness canoe trips with him.
Oh,
he's
so-
led those.
So he does quite a few
a
things.
Renaissance man, yes.
So all of these things on April 25th are very free.
That's right.
Anyone can participate, and we do have some guidelines for the parade itself. That you know, it can't, no motorized vehicles, no real animals, just dressed in. Well, we can come as a human.
Yes.
That might be how I parade down the street if I don't get my costume done before then. So you can dress as your favorite animal or your favorite insect, favorite plant life too. So there's lots of opportunities to use your creativity and participate with us. In order to be a part of that parade, though, we would like to have some sort of estimate of the numbers of people. So
That
we've
would be
set
handy,
up
yeah.
on our webpage, under our events page, you can pre-register for this event and sign up and put your name, and so we have some sort of numbers for the parade and then also for the Doug Wood event. So both of those are available on our webpage. You just go to our the front page under our events, click on that, and it'll take you to the calendar for April. And then you just click on the 25th of April and for the parade, and then again if you're coming for the concert that night under that. And it's just very simple. You just write your name and click yes, and you're already pre-registered. Now, if you don't pre-register, you still can come.
Sure.
You know, so
I need to check out that site.
yes, you should.
I will.
I hope I have everything. It's a new piece of software that we have, so we've been trying it out, and I think I've got it down now. So. So the whole event is all about celebrating Earth and celebrating our world and the animals and us and our plant life. Do you have anything that you'd like to add to the event and to our public?
Well, shall we make a pitch for sponsorships?
Sure.
Sure could do that.
We have a wonderful team pulled together representing all these different organizations, and it's been great to work with that team, and we're making things happen. But it also takes a certain amount of financial support to make things happen. And so we are interested in getting the word out about financial sponsorship. If there are organizations or businesses that are excited about this event, or individuals for that matter, that would like to support it, we'd love to hear from them.
So, and that would that financial part would be part of helping Doug get down here.
That's right.
That's right.
And the different licensing fees that we've had to.
And we've got
Yes.
we got the sponsorship level set up.
Oh yeah, and what
right.
are those?
Yes, they're
Very
fun.
creative.
They were fun.
They are fun.
Yeah, so we have Kingdom, So we have them set up in kingdom, family, genus, and species levels. And so kingdom level is $300 and over, family level is $100 to $299, and genus is $50 to $99, and then the species are all of the participants in the parade. And everybody gets, in each different level gets a little bit different benefit. For example, the species, all the parade participants get certificates of appreciation. So, and then it goes on up from there. But we have some great sponsors so far. We have Story County Conservation Partners, who funded Molly Nagel, the artist, in doing 4 of the workshops. Big Blue Stem Audubon has sponsored the event. Individuals like Mark Wiederlechner and Colleen Hamilton, and a veterinarian, Dr. Chris August. So more people are starting to recognize that this is really an event for the community, and it will benefit us all in so many ways.
Well, and I have, you just said a wonderful thing too about how it benefits, but I have from our press release, a quote from you that I'd like to end our show with today. But before I do that, I'd like to, again, this is April 25th. The parade itself starts at 2 o'clock. If you'd like to participate, you can pre-register on our website and be here around 1 o'clock to get dressed and ready to start. If you want to just watch the parade, you can come and be available around the parade route in a 2-4 block radius of the library, and then we'll end up back here at the library for a wonderful afternoon of sharing of different agencies that will show what they do to help our environment, or to help you help our environment. And then we'll conclude the day with a wonderful concert with Douglas Wood and his band. So please come and join us on April 25th. And one of our like I said, the quote from our press release, I want to quote Marlene with, this is a new event in our Iowa area and in Ames. And during what we're trying to do, according to IWC Executive Director Marlene Erlsman, is that we will meld art, science, and human ingenuity to celebrate the sense of wonder Rachel Carson wrote about. To do this, we'll offer people of all ages a way to connect with other species that we are, in some way dependent upon, including plants and insects, mammals, birds, and reptiles. So go to your closet, find some sort of animal costume, or create one of your own and use your own ingenuity, and let's celebrate together our Earth, one Earth, and all species. Or all species, one Earth, however you would like to put it together. And come celebrate with us at the library on April 25th. Thank you.